Chapter 3: Reversing Negative Agreements. If we can get people to recall those long-buried traumatic events and discern the negative agreements, thus bringing about unacceptable or destructive behavior they entered into as a result, then, through the power of the Holy Spirit, we can neutralize those agreements and free them from both physical and psychological oppression. Likewise, if we can lead people in making positive statements of affirmation that they can agree with, it can change their behavior. All this may sound like a bit like reprogramming a computer. It is, in a sense. However, it does not mean that we can automatically change a person's attitude and mindset by throwing a switch or clicking a button, as with a computer. After all, humans have fluctuations of will, intellect, and emotion that a computer does not. I am well aware that governments and other institutions have shamefully used principles like these to brainwash entire groups of people. In truth, these methods can be used for good or for evil. Our aim, however, is not to manipulate minds for our own gain or purpose. Our intent is to help individuals with the destructive problems that keep repeating in their lives, problems caused by negative agreements, attitudes, and conclusions. In order to heal these bruises of the mind and heart, we first need to uncover the memories or incidents that are underlying the source of the problem. Second, we need to uncover the negative agreements or lies created by the experience. Third, we need to renounce those lies or negative agreements and substitute an opposite, positive agreement in their place. A case study. 20-year-old Susan came into my office 2 weeks before Christmas. She explained how the holidays were the worst time of the year for her. Ever since she could remember, she had been sick every Christmas. I asked her to close her eyes and we prayed together, asking God to show her what happened when she was young to cause this problem. She concentrated on being sick at Christmas. Instantly, Susan recalled the scene when she was 5 or 6 years old. She was at home in her living room, where there was a Christmas tree. Everyone was scurrying around, preparing for a party that evening. In their rush, they forgot to feed Susan lunch. She felt neglected and started sobbing. Still, no one noticed her. Finally, she started to cry louder and ended up vomiting. Her parents and aunt ran to her and hugged her. "Oh, Mommy is so sorry. We forgot to feed you." They prepared her a great lunch, including ice cream. Her father took her riding in his new Buick in hopes that the wind would make her feel better. Susan was delighted. I asked her, "What did you decide then, Susan?" After a little prodding, Susan said, "It's good to get sick, then everybody will love you." Every year, like clockwork, the smells and sights of Christmas all became triggers that brought on Susan's sickness. First, I had Susan renounce that lie. I renounced the lie that I have to get sick for people to love me. It's not true. I then had her affirm the truth. I do not have to get sick for people to love me. People love me all the time. I deserve to be loved, and I am capable of loving others. We asked the Lord to erase the memories and take them away. I had Susan open her eyes and then close them after a minute. "Susan, please go back to that memory and tell me what you see." Now the memory had begun to fade away, and Susan had a hard time remembering it. In the end, it was gone. The first week of January, she called me. "Guess what?" she said. "I didn't get sick during Christmas for the first time since I was young. The smells and emotions no longer triggered a sick response." God had set Susan free. This is a classic example of dealing with negative agreements. 1. Recall the memory or incident neglected at Christmas. 2. Expose the negative agreement or lie. If I get sick, people will love me. 3. Renounce the lie and replace it with the truth. I don't have to get sick for people to love me. Most of the time, but not always, a traumatic experience before adulthood, most likely between the ages of 1 and 10, can give rise to these incorrect attitudes and agreements. Although some of these experiences can be traumatic, such as a car accident or physical abuse, others can be something simple like missing lunch or hearing an offhand comment. Don't allow yourself to judge the severity of the incident. The incident doesn't matter. We are trying to get at the negative agreements they caused. When counseling people, always try to go beyond the incident to identify and confront the lie that was formed. Then, have a counselee renounce it and affirm the truth when it is appropriate.